5:30.
Elevate your talk a little.
Order. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first on there is the approval of minutes from the April 14th and May 7th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 14th and May 7th.
I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion's passed. Don't have a treasurer's report. Okay, public time. Public time.
I'll go if nobody else is gonna go. Leslie gets. At last month's board meeting, I asked a few questions and none of the board members reached out to answer my questions in the intervening month. So I guess I'm gonna ask again, what is the date of the annual meeting? And I'm gonna add to that a suggestion that you use a sound system during the annual meeting. With so many people, it's hard to hear the proceedings. Also, it would be helpful to have an agenda or some kind of stated organization. And I'm not suggesting that you need to have a paper agenda for every single person because that would be a lot of paper, but maybe even just a verbal announcement because last year there was some confusion over when it was public time, when it was time to make a motion, and like that. So it would be helpful if we just know what's expected at the meeting. I'd like to know if the new website is done. If not, when is it expected to be completed? I keep, kind of checking on there to see if it looks brand new. When will you be reviewing the master plan for the next time? I see that the LAI lawsuit is on the agenda, so I hope that the information will be shared with all of the board members. I know that's in private and that's the business, that we aren't observing, but I'm hopeful that something can be resolved. And I'm going to add to my questions then, why is the current 2025 budget not amended to correctly reflect the salary figures? That was fairly confusing in the budget proposal for next year. And does the board have any kind of systematic plan to review and revise the township ordinances? Say, looking at X number of them each year, because I know we run into some things where the ordinances are outdated and need to be revised, and I wondered if you have a process for doing that. So I hope somebody will reach out. You have my contact information. I can certainly give it again.
So at the last meeting, you voted to spend almost 10 grand on a golf cart because Engelman said that you can't drive a car on a runway. So I have some questions about that. Yeah, the grass runway you should not drive a car on, but how are you plowing if you can't drive vehicles on a runway? Plowing the snow and all that kind of stuff. Did you get lights for that golf cart? Because when you use a vehicle on the runway, you have to have the lights on. I hear you're getting fuel delivered, so I'm wondering who is the A&B operator? Are they insured? Who is available 24/7 to handle the spills? Who is the MDOT Class C operator, and is the registration on the fuel tanks current? Now, regarding the budget, last week, we had folks up here. I go to a lot of township meetings, and most people won't vote on their own raises, and they're not going to vote on family members either. And ethics and all that kind of stuff. But you guys do, and you even make motions about your own raises and family members' raises. It's just really interesting. Regarding the website, I know the person who runs one of the companies that you got a bid for back in December 2023 for the website revamp. And I talked to that person. It would have taken 2 weeks, and it would have been about half the cost that you spent. And your website is still just barely functional. Sometimes it's got so many issues. But again, it serves people's purposes if we can't get meeting minutes. I can get Metamora minutes from like 20 years ago in 1 second on my computer. But if we can't get the access, and then we have to come in 4 times sometimes to get them from Julie, You know, it keeps us busy, doesn't it? Keeps us from the information we're supposed to have. Sounds like you guys got a reprieve today, because from what I heard, what was reported to me was that the whole board was supposed to go to the hearing in Judge Nolan's courtroom, and then that got put off. And man, I hope that gets resolved, because that is just absolutely ridiculous that that's still going on. But speaking of that lawsuit, at the end of the budget meeting the other day, again, Engelman, you're going into things that could get you in big trouble, saying that the mower charges for it and never fixed it. What they did to us was a phrase that you used. They watched the YouTube, okay? Their lawyers have the YouTube channel and watch it. And that could end up costing taxpayers here money. So that annual meeting, man, just set the date. Don't make us, we will come every 6 hours. We will come every 12 hours to check that board to see when it's going to be set, because we've heard about what's happened in the past with that. So, but I'll end with this. Cheryl, I saw what Engelman was talking to you about, and I heard it at the end of the budget meeting, and I thought that was just incredibly inappropriate that a supervisor would talk to a trustee that way. And I applaud anyone who stands in their own conscience and in their own integrity, because it is not the job of any trustee to go along with what other people want. That is not it at all. And it's just gross that anyone would say that. And I guess what? When you go to other townships, boards disagree, and that is what we want to see. We want to see things talked out. We want to see things improved, and that push and pull. That is democracy. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sure. So I got a bag here full of concrete from your road that I pulled out of my ditch, and I'm sure I'm going to pull much more this year as the summer continues. The excuse from the people of King Road as to why they wanted the gas station was to fix the road. And you guys came out the following day and cold patched it. That's not fixing the road. Fixing the road is tearing it up and putting a new surface down on it. And using a gas station as an excuse to fix our road is not it. And also, they also use the excuse to use their UTVs to drive. That's okay, to drive to the said gas station. The UTVs tear the road up and put this off the shoulder into my ditch, along with probably others that live on Fish Lake and adjacent roads that are UTV restricted by the Lapeer County Road Commission map. So if you guys want to refer to that and maybe handle the UTVs that are running up and down the road from King Road, that'd be wonderful. As for your raises, I don't feel that you deserve a raise. If you can't figure out how to fix a road, how can you figure out how to give yourself a raise? With that being said, I think that's it.
Anybody else? Okay. Nobody else? We will close this meeting and go into a closed session with our attorney. So, everybody would like to.
The motion to go into closed session to discuss LAI and just litigation.
Second. Everybody like to go into the other room over there?
We need a roll call.
Kyle?
Yeah.
And
I'll second.
Frisch? Engelman?
Yes.
Schlaud, yes. Kyle?
Yeah.
And Maasch?
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda, the planning commission appointment, to appoint Gary Lewis to the planning commission.
Do we have to accept the resignation first? Or it doesn't matter?
You could condition it on, I would say in the case of in a vacancy. There hasn't been a vacancy yet, but again, that way you don't have to meet a second time just to do that, so. the idea for the rest of the board is that he would replace Jamie on planning commission. So she'd have to resign and then he'd be appointed.
I make a motion to appoint Gary Eunice to the planning commission upon the resignation of Jamie Crossan and to continue her term.
Second.
Where does her term expire?
I don't know if the top of my head.
Roll call?
Sure.
Okay.
Engelman.
Yes.
Schlaud, yes. Kile.
Yes.
Maasch.
Yes.
Dan Frisch is absent. Okay.
Okay, next is the boundary adjustment for property. And we have back here, there's a fence probably 40 years ago was placed on somebody else's property by the township. It's in a trust. The family found, discovered that the fence was on their property, 10 feet on it. Came to me and we discussed it and decided to get it surveyed, which we have the survey, and Nathan can do a boundary adjustment, and is to give the family $4,000 to actually, we actually have to purchase that 10 foot by 300 and some foot stretch, which is a lot cheaper than having the fence tore down. It was estimated to be about $10,000 to tear the fence down and move it.
Make a motion to approve the boundary adjustment with Mayfield Township and the Joan Beverly Fick Trust as presented in $4,000. Roll call. Schlaud, yes. Kile. Oops.
Yes.
Maasch.
Yes.
Frisch is absent. And
Yes. Okay. Okay, next is committee reports. I think we all gave a report.
I left my paperwork in the office. EMS is looking to buy a second ambulance. They're concerned about the tariffs and all that good stuff, and we were approached by someone who had one for a very good price, so we try and keep the rigs updated, so we're going to purchase one now, and we have one that we ordered a year ago coming in June.